Hey, welcome to my video on using Tinkercad to create your Olympic symbols. I'm going to give you two quick lessons today. You can see I've already been playing around with a little key ring there, one with a backing, one without, and I've set the rings at different heights so you don't lose this sort of pattern in there of one crossing over the other. Okay, well, let's get started. We start by create new design, that button there. And just remember there's plenty of tutorials and lessons in Tinkercad. I just prefer to get more straight into it and learn by playing. And the great thing with on a screen like this on the computer, there's nothing you can break. You're not in a workshop swinging hammers around. Okay, I'm going to start with that cylinder. Pull that out there onto the screen or onto the work plane. And I'm going to hold that handle up on top there. And you see it's going 3mm high, 5mm high. Make it 30mm high if I wanted. Can I drop that right down to, let's say, 6mm high, and then I'm going to pull it out so it's a bigger circle just so I can work with it a bit easier. So hold down the shift key, grab that corner handle. Now when you hold shift, it pulls it out and keeps it in proportions. If I don't hold the shift, then it can become oval or turn into all sorts of weird shapes, which is fun for other projects, but I'm wanting a circle, so I'll Control and do that, or Control Z that, and that put it back to a circle, and I'll click on that, so I've got it about 41. That's fine by me. So now I go and grab a cylinder that's hollow, and I grab that, drag it out. Doesn't matter too much where I put it at this stage, and I'm going to make this one hold shift, drag that corner out. Now the other one was 41. It's going to make this about 37, 36 I think. Give myself a bit of thickness to the wall of my circles, otherwise they won't be very strong. I'm going to drop that down too so it's sticking out the bottom. Now let's have a look what we got here. I can rotate around, see that block up in the top that I'm holding up here. If I hold that I can scroll it around and have a look. Now it's sort of stuck out the one side of it, so what I'm going to do is select both shapes by just drawing a square over them. So I just hold down the left mouse button and then rock over it like that. Now I've selected both shapes, and now I click on this align tool up here. Okay, with the align tool I click on that one and I put it in alignment on that horizontal axis. Now that one I put on that way. And I might just rotate that and have a little look around first. Yeah, I think that wall might be a bit thin. So I'm going to choose this cylinder here. Come out of there, just choose that cylinder again. And I'm going to just take it down to 34 now. I didn't hold the shift key there, so I'm going to just click on it and tidy it up. Type 34 in the box, bang, now it's symmetrical. Now I select them both again, draw the box around them or over them, and I click on the align button, and once again I can align them on that horizontal axis and that one there, and I'm pretty sure it's in the middle this time. Yep, very good. And a little bit thicker walled. Now that hollow cylinder hasn't come up as a hole yet, so what I've got to do is select them both, and as soon as I group them it'll turn that inverse cylinder into a hole. Now let's have a look at what we got. How high was that? Let's have a look, 12mm high. Let's take that right down to about 6mm. And let's have a rotate. Quite happy with that circle? Looks pretty good to me. Righto. What I'm going to do now is Control D, which duplicates it. And I'm just going to use the arrow keys on my keyboard because I can move them more accurately than a mouse jiggles a little bit. Just going to put that over there. Now if I go Control D again, it'll do it to the same move, which is really cool. So I'm actually going to do all 5 circles all at once by just using Control D, Control D. Now I've got my 5 circles. That's pretty quick, isn't it? And then I grab the last 2 by drawing a box over them. Whatever that box touches, it selects. And again, I'm going to move those down and across. That looks pretty cool. Alright. So we'll have a little rotate there. I'll just check. I'm trying to make all those those keyholes in similar proportions. Might have to go up a little bit. There we go, I'm happy with that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to rotate that. Looks good from that angle. Now if I select that as to be one object, so I just draw a box around it like that, turn it into one object. The problem is we lose that definition in the lines here, and I wanted to keep that, so I'm going to Control undo that, Control Z, which is undo, and I'm going to select each one, and I'm going to make them a slightly different height, so that one can stay 6, and the one on the far side can stay 6. That one I'm going to take to 5. Enter. And then these two down here, I might take them to 6.5. One of them, 6.5. 6.5 millimeters. Enter. It's made it slightly higher. And then this one needs to go probably in the middle. Let's make that 5.5. 5.5. Enter. Now let's see if I've got them all on different heights now. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Everything's sticking out nicely, but not too much. That's great. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to turn that into one object now. Just by selecting it, group them together. But now they don't just look like a blob. I've still got that nice pattern. I'm going to grab another cylinder and make a backing for my keyring. This time I'm going to not pull out evenly. Just going to overlay it over my circles. Rotate this up. Now I've totally engulfed my rings. There they are on the bottom. And I'm just going to take this down now until it's about 4 mil high. If it's too flat or too thin, it won't be strong. It's going to make it about 4 mil high. Now the problem with that is my rings aren't sticking out very far. So I'll grab those rings now. And I'm going to lift them up a bit. Now you can see it says I've lifted it. That's with it 10 mil out. There. And that should be floating above, I think. Yep, it's floating above. So I definitely don't want it floating above, so I'm going to put it back down. It was 4 mil high, so I'm going to make it 3 mil high. Whoop. 3 mil high. That means it'll just be sticking out of that shape nicely. Yep, perfect. Now let's make sure the shape is in the middle, this oval. So I click here. And I'll just make sure all the sides have the same spacing around them. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. That's cool. So now I'm going to make the last thing a hole for the ring to go through. The key ring. Click that there. Hold the shift. Keep it as a nice even circle. Move it back down with the arrow keys into that space there. Yep, I'm happy with that. I'm going to rotate this around to see what I got now. Might move that so it's sticking right out the bottom. Let's have a look now. Yep, sticking out the bottom. And now I'm going to group them all together, and what that'll do is turn that inverse cone into a hole. Here we go. Bang, look at that, isn't that great? Excellent. Now remember, yours doesn't have to be exactly like mine. This is my creation. So now I'm changing the name. I've clicked up in that box up there. Tinkercad will give your shape always a crazy name that's unique. Olympic keyring. And I'll put my name. And I'll save this over the last one I made because I don't need 100 key rings. Enter. And now that's finished. Now the last thing I need to do is to actually save this or export it as an STL. And then I can load the STL into the slicing program, and that's when I can load it into 3D printer. So there you go. It'll download that file. There it is there. And I can load that into the slicing software, which is another lesson. If you have a look on our 3D printing page, you'll find those lessons there. If you don't have a 3D printer at home, remember there are 3D printers at the hub or at the local office in Underwood. So thank you for listening to this first lesson. I'll do one more for a more complicated shape, but it should be a lot of fun for you. Thank you.